Well, you're certainly whacking out there. Peaking about 17, 18 dB on the last over there, so no problems hearing you this morning, that's for sure. Okay, Hank, I won't hold it up. I'm going to flick around the frequencies there. There's a couple of local stations here got involved with the Scouts here in Ireland, and there's a lot of Jota activations there going today, so we want to get 2 or 3 of them into the logbook. Have a nice afternoon. Thank you very much for the call, and you have a nice day. From Echo India 2, Juliet India Bravo, Peter outside Dublin, Ireland. Bye-bye.
From EI2JIB.
73, bye-bye.
Yeah, 270, hang on.
20, beaming west, Papa Delta 1 Alpha,
Vi har start igjen om 10 minutters tid, så da kommer de på samlebånd frem til klokka 5:30 i dag.
O muletilla, digámoslo así, de entregar el indicativo del corresponsal y el tuyo al final.
One Alpha Oscar Bravo, Echo India 7, Delta Mike Bravo. Yourself?
Adrian, good afternoon to you. I'm not chasing the X at the moment.
A good one.
Of home, a lot about home. So one thing from I was a boy, I always liked to hear the Scottish bagpipes over. The four.
Firenze 4, Firenze, Victoria, Napoli. Lima Bravo 2, Foxtrot Juliet. Ja, det är lite vanskligt, men man kan pröva på 14 till Galway, Golf Alpha Lima, Whiskey Alpha Yankee, in a small town, quite famous for a certain song that's sang at almost all sporting events across Europe, and it's the town called Athenry, Alpha Tango Hotel, Echo November Romeo Yankee, and the song would be, of course, The Fields of Athenry. Radio here is the Fox Tango 991A, 991A, and the antenna is an end-fed half-wave, good for 80 meters, and it's only about 7 meters above the ground, so nothing too elaborate here on this side, Hank. WX here, it's sunny at the moment, and not too breezy, but we're expecting a storm. Storm actually will be hitting us around midnight tonight, so we're bracing ourselves for the impact. Your signal report, by the way, is 20 over 9. You're 20 over 9 here into County Galway, Hank. Papa Delta 1 Alpha, Oscar Bravo, Echo India 7, Delta Mike Bravo. Sure, sir?
Very good, Adrian. Echo India 7, Delta Mike Bravo from Papa Delta 1 Alpha, Bravo Oscar. Yeah, WX, a little bit of rain. So I'm checking at the moment. But, yeah, no storm expected, I think, here.
EI2, Japan, Italy, Bravo, CQ20 on by.
Sierra
20, CQ20. Italy, CQ20 on by.
Oscar November 8, Echo India, over.
ON8EI, good afternoon, John. I hope all is well, John. You're booming in here. ON8EI, good afternoon. From EI2JIB. Operator's name, Peter, John. How are you keeping, John?
Very good, Peter. Nice to hear you. I heard you a little bit down the band talking to the Dutch station, and I was hoping that I would bump into you. But yeah, on this side, I'm just using an offset quad, a 2-element quad, a very old one. I think it could be nearly 30 years of age, and I picked it up for about €100. So it's up about 10 meters above the ground, and it's at the back of the garden. But you're a good signal. You're 10 and 15 over with me. Nice to hear you, Peter. EI2JIB, ON8EI, over.
Yeah, ON8EI, EI2JIB returning. 100%, John, yeah. Just I was on earlier on there. I was listening out for Porrick and the boys there, 9IRB and the lads. They're doing the Jota activation there up in Kiltiernan, up on the outskirts of Dublin there. And I gave them a shout on 40 metres, but I was talking to Davy as well, Echo Alpha 5, Juliet November Mike as well down in Spain there. And a few more of them. Oh, excuse me, I've suffering with a chest infection this week. So I'm on the old tablets there, and every now and again I do get a little tickly throat there. So apologies, John. But yeah, listen, everybody seems to be booming in here this morning. Are you keeping well, John? Go ahead.
Yeah, keeping very well. Just, sometimes I had a cold about 2 weeks ago, and slowly but surely it has got much better. I think it's nearly gone, so that's good. Well, good to hear you. And I was also speaking with Dave. He has a new amplifier, so he was putting it through its paces. And I also made contact with the Jota station in Kiltiernan on 20 metres. So it's all very inter-European contacts, but always nice to hear everyone. So I'm in the shack. I'm just playing around with another setup, not the main shack, just a tiny, a shack within a shack. Over.
Sound great.
Yeah, ON8EI EI2JIB returning. Yeah, I know what you mean, John. I know what you mean. Yeah, what do you call it? No, I had a good chat with Davey this morning. I was telling Davey there to go off and invest in an amplifier buffer. So like something like an ARB 704 by Ameritron to go between his 7300 and his amplifier. Some of these radios have a little bit more higher voltage coming out the back of them on the back of the radios there, and to do play havoc there with the old relays and the amplifier, but it's nice to keep them regulated, if you know what I mean, especially with the modern gear and the older type amplifiers. I have this ARB, I must have it 15 years, and it's one of the things I wouldn't sell. I had it on my 922, I had it on an SB220 as well, and the amplifier I'm on at the moment is an Imtron DX2. It's an Australian amplifier, 2KW, and she's an old girl. She's about 12-year-old, 13-year-old, and the tube is very good. Nurse, she was down in Waterford there a while ago. Had a full service and a full overhaul check and everything else, and she's still running like a Swiss watch. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that guy in Waterford, he's very good. I think he's I would say he's Ireland's best, or one of the best anyway. So anything that you give to him, it'll come out smelling of roses. Terrific. Yeah, well, funny you should say that. I'm also a buffer user, and I'm using a buffer that came from VK. So I have two main radios in the shack. Both of them are SDRs. This one is a Hermes Lite, and the other one is an Anan 7000. And with that buffer, you can run two radios. So you just switch between one and the other. And the shack within a shack, I was just setting up a 7300 with an SB 200. Over.
Yeah, EI2JIB returning ON8EI. Yeah, 100%, John. Yeah, it's nice there to have I have an ACOM 1010 here as well. It's kind of a backup to the Imtron DX2 that I use here, and I find this amplifier absolutely fabulous. I couldn't fault it. I bought it from another operator down the country here, and he had it from brand new. And I don't know if you know Ollie 5KW. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I know him well. Over.
Yeah, that's a Roger. Yeah, well, I bought Ollie's amplifier here going back just over a year and a half ago, and I had the 1010 here, and I took the 1010 down, and I put it back in the box, and I said I'd leave it in the box there, and if I kind of ran into any problems, I'd have something to fall back into. But touch wood so far, it's absolutely in mint condition, and it's a credit to 5KW for looking after this one. There's not a blemish or a mark on it, and I went off and bought the protective cover for it and the dust cover and the whole lot, and yeah, she's sitting here on the bench now, nice and pretty, and in a nice warm environment here during the winter months as well there, you know, to keep everything kind of half right there. But I'm down the bottom of the garden. I'm in a concrete kind of a bunker. It's a concrete shed with a steel door on it. And what I done was back in 2004, I ripped it completely out and put in inch battens or inch and a quarter battens onto the wall, and I panelled that with inch and a quarter aero board. And then what I used then was silver back foil between the brickwork and the actual wall, so it's kind of soundproofed. And once the heat is in here, it holds the heat. You know, that's the main thing. But there's nothing in here going to get damp. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm just having a look at your QRZ page. So I take it you're on the 101 at the moment. Over.
I am indeed, John. I am indeed there. I'm on the 101 there, with the M-Tron DX2 and the 2-element rotary dipole that covers 40 meters to 10 meters with no gaps. If you look at the top right-hand corner, that's the antenna I bought from Profistal in Italy in the middle of, I think it was January of last year. I ordered it before Christmas and it came in January. So, yeah, we're using that one. It suits my environment, John. It's so handy. I'm not able to get up on the roof of the house anymore, you know, so the pneumatic mast drops down, and it drops down to about 7 or 8 foot, and I'm able to work off the antenna from ground level. Makes more sense to me. And the microphone I use on this one, John, is a Heil GM5 Gold Line by Bob Heil. A very old studio mic, dynamic mic, and it seems to work this radio quite well. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, you're sounding terrific. Really broadcast style audio. Really communication audio. Perfect. I hear everything. It's amazing. Sometimes you hear people with great signals, but there's too much bass and it's muffled. And I don't want to say anything to anyone, about their audio, but because I wouldn't know how to make it right or be able to give the time. But yeah, some people, they should listen to what they sound like, and if they know someone that can help them or if they can help themselves, they should do that, because it's amazing listening to some people. I have no idea what they're saying. Over.
Yeah, EI2JIB returning, ON8EI. John, I completely agree with you. I had to play around with the EQ internal settings on this radio, and I tried 3 or 4 different microphones in it, believe it or not, for I'd say a good 72 hours into a dummy load. And I went through the internet, and I went through YouTube, and I went through this, that, and the other. And I was talking to a friend of mine down in Charlie Tango, and he has more or less the same setup. And he sent me an email with some settings on it, and I tried that, and I was just blown away with the audio in the headphones. It's not too bassy. The lows are kind of low, but not too low, if you know what I mean. But the highs seem to make the radio and the amplifier pop. Even with a bit of an increase in power as well. So I left it alone. I didn't go near the settings again. And I just left it as is, because I do get a lot of good reports about the audio on this particular setup. So I just left it alone. I wouldn't like to be changing around and messing with it again. It probably doesn't suit everybody's voice. I found going to YouTube and downloading somebody else's settings, and then when you speak into the microphone, it doesn't sound like him, but it sounds brilliant for him. But I can honestly say through experience that everybody hasn't got the same vocal cords. So you have to kind of go back to the drawing board again and try and tweak it the best way you can. And you'll eventually get there. It just takes a little bit of time, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Well, maybe about 2.5 years ago, something like that. Rowley, Echo India, is it 5 Kilo Papa? Maybe I've got the number wrong, but I'm not sure if you know Rowley. He lives up in the Wicklow Carlow area, and I was talking to him about that. And within 10 minutes, he sent me a screenshot, of what to do, and marked out, blah blah blah. So within 10 minutes, he had it as it sounds now. and people say it sounds quite not so bad. One guy in Italy who I know maybe a month ago did a tiny tweak, but that's it. So that's 2.5 years ago, the initial audio, and it was for the other radio, it was for the Anan, and I just transferred the settings to this radio, Peter, over.
Yeah, 2M1ADM, EI2JIB returning. Yeah, I've done that myself. I came from an FT920 going back many, many years ago, and then I went on to the 1000 range. I had the Mark V and the Mark V Field, the 200 watt version, and I jumped then to an FT2000D, and that was a fabulous radio. EI9KT bought that one off me here before I purchased the 101. And I absolutely, I couldn't fault that radio whatsoever. That was Jeff from Castle Electronics. That was his own personal radio, and I bought it off him, and I couldn't fault it in any shape or form. And I let it go, and I said, listen, I wanted to kind of upgrade, go to more modern, and I did look at the Kenwood TS890 Sugar, and then I looked at this one as well, and I was kind of hemming and hawing for about 2.5 months, and I was saying it was an awful lot of money to be spending, you know, on a radio and this kind of thing. And I was sat in the house one night, and the YL said to me, will you just go get one of them? So I eventually pulled the trigger on the 101, and that was the end of that one. But I do have another radio here, the Kenwood TS2000X here as well. I mainly use it for VHF and UHF, John, but I don't be on that much of the 2-meter 70s now lately. I'm just waiting to get another couple of dry days, maybe before the winter months, and I want to get back up the Diamond X300 there, back up on top of the tower. So that's my next little project, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I have the on the side of the house. I don't use it that much. I have the 510. So I'm just here in the shack connecting up things. I also have the 9700, but I hardly use it. And then I kind of go back and forth. Will I sell it or will I not? Over.
Yeah, EI2JIB returning. Yeah, the only reason why I stuck with when I got the TS2000, it was one of the last models that was made back in June 2018, I think it was. And in September of 2018, they stopped production. And like this one came from new, so I knew everything was good in it. And yeah, listen, it's just good for the simplex as well. It has the 100 watts, it has the satellite, you know, like, and it has the 23 centimeters in it and that kind of thing as well. Which I haven't even dabbled around in that end of it, to be honest with you. I'm more of a HF ragturer now than the 2-meter 70s M's. But I do like the 2 meters when the lads go, like, do the 145 Alive and that kind of thing. And Tony and the lads in Dublin do a simplex there every Tuesday night there as well. I think it's on 145 350 or something like that. And that does be I've listened to them a few times on it, but I've never actually called in on it. But yeah, I do listen from time to time. But yeah, listen, you know yourself, John, you can be at this hobby forever, chopping and changing and trying to as I call it, introduce new stuff into the system, and then things can go wrong, and sometimes you're better off just leaving it alone. Go ahead.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, I stuck with these radios, the Anan and the Hermes Light. I'm not sure if you've seen a picture of the Hermes Light on my QRZ page. Have you seen that radio, the Hermes Light, over?
Yeah, I've seen them. I've been on your QRZ page many a time, John, and I've looked at your system and everything else there, and it's a credit to you. It's a fine system. But yeah, I've kind of looked at the Anons and I looked at the Flex radios, and to be honest with you, John, it's I don't know. Maybe I'm too old school. I don't know. Even coming from my Charlie Bravo days, I like to see me equipment on the bench when I walk into the shack. I don't want to walk into my radio room with just a single computer and a screen sitting in front of it. It's just not me. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, each to their own. I have to say, once I heard the sound of those radios, and I used to talk to a few people that had them, and then I watched YouTube clips about them. I was hooked, hook, line, and sinker. So the first one I got was the Anan 7000. That works well. but it's connected up to a valve amp, the ACOM 1000. And, you know, if you want to hop around the bands, you have to keep tuning. So I have the Hermes Lite connected up to a ACOM 1200S. And since recent times, the amp follows the radio. So there's no tuning involved. You just, wherever you want to be, you just key up, over.
Yeah, EI2JIB returning. Yeah, believe it or not, I have, between my amplifier and my radio, I have a thing called, from America, it's called a Mercury ATS 1500 fully automatic antenna tuner. And that has a lead that comes between the radio and the tuner follows the frequencies also automatically. And the only thing is, though, I have to manually tune the amplifier because it's not solid state, obviously. It's a single ceramic tube. But I don't mind that part of it, but the tuner part of it works really well. I can hit the tune button on the front of the radio, and the tuner kicks into place, no matter what frequency I'm on. But I kind of looked at the solid state amplifiers as well, John, and I was kind of saying to myself, is it worth the hassle, you know? And I don't know, I just seem to like tuning with the manual stuff. You can just seem to tweak it that little bit more comfortably, and it gets that little bit more resonance on it as well. So I like me valve stuff, to be honest with you. But yeah, the ACOM now, I have an ACOM 1010 there as well, and I just put the ATU in bypass on that one when I have it connected, and yeah, she's able to fly around the bands there, you know yourself. And they're a good amplifier. In all fairness, they're a cracking amplifier. I went off there during the year last year. We're trying to start up the Kildare Amateur Radio Group here in the county of Kildare. Myself and about 21 others there have got together. We've had a couple of meetings, and we're going to be applying for a club call sign there maybe after Christmas. And we went off and bought a 3.5 kV generator and a few more bits and pieces there. So yeah, we're starting to get there slowly but surely. As 7ICB says, baby steps. We'll get there eventually. Go ahead.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, I look forward to hearing you on that. And I'm just looking at your 2-element beam on the side of the house. You know, and it doesn't. You know the way some people would be bothered by the sight of antennas. You know, it looks like, you know, kind of an old TV antenna from the 70s, over.
Yeah, EI2JIB returning. John, I'll tell you now, I've worked the world on the antenna. And to be honest with you, I've done VK, Japan, all of Europe, Russia. I've done Malawi, you know, Indonesia, ferry down in Indonesia, Yankee Bravo, I think it's Yankee Bravo Zero Radio, something radio. I can't remember his call sign, but I was giving him 10 dB over 9 on that joke. And I was doing about 350 watts out of the amplifier. I don't drive the amplifier. 400 is plenty. Don't do over it. Not interested in doing over it. I know there at the moment there's a bit of consultation going on about increasing the power levels here to suit the UK as well with 1 kW and that kind of thing. But to be honest with you, I think 400 is plenty. It gets me all over the place. If it does come in, well and good. I can see an awful lot of patch leads being changed. 1 kW comes in, go ahead.
Yeah, Roger, well, you know, I'm sure some people are guilty of saying they're using this power, but they're using maybe something else. But anyway, each to their own. Yeah, we're on 1500 if we want, but I'm just looking at the power meter now, probably about 550. So that's what I use all the time on both of the amplifiers. EI2JIB, ON80I. Yeah, you're very constant as regards your signal, Peter, over.
Yeah, EI2JIB returning. Well, I tell you now, I'm looking at the meter here, and I'm using a good meter. It's by Micropower. It's the FX773 model. It's got two devices at the back of it that hooks into the antenna system, and it sends it down 2 channels as well. So I can see the SWR is 1.08, and the output power at the moment is exactly 353. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Well, on the quad now, you're louder on the quad. I'm going to switch over to the to the Moxon antenna, and that's about 14 meters above the ground, also beaming towards Ireland. But for the moment, the quad, the 30-year-old quad, is working well, and I'm using that D10 wire for it. So just stand by, and I'll call you on the Moxon. Yeah, okay. EI2JIB, ON80I, and I'm on the Moxon. Over.
Yeah, ON80I, EI2JIB. About 3 F points in the difference. Your audio levels went down, your signal went down on the Moxon, but when you were on the other one, you were peaking 15/9 and way louder on audio. Go ahead.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? And that's one of those. I take it you've seen those offset boom quads. They look a bit, as they say in the American media, they look a bit weird. Over.
Yeah, EI2JIB returning. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, John. Yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing. I just find, for my environment, I just find that antenna that I bought. I was going to go down the road of doing something else, but I thought it'd be too kind of in your face, if you know what I mean. I was going to go, and I wanted something that kind of covered a multitude of bands in one antenna, and that particular one serves the purpose. On the back element of that one, John, it does 40 meters, 20, 15, and 10, and on the front element it does 12 and 17. And between the two elements, it's a 1 meter boom and 490 mil from the back of the back element is the 1-to-1 ballam, the 5 kW 1-to-1 ballam. And you can get the add-on kit that, if I done CW, for the 30 meters as well. So I mean, that would give you the full 7 HF bands. So I only went for the 6 because I don't do CW at the moment. It's something I might do down the road, but at the moment I don't do it, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, well, I remember that CW exam, and I did it. When was it? In 80? Was it 87 or 88? But as soon as I passed it, I did a little bit, but it wasn't really for me. Over.
Yeah, ON80I, EI2JIB. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's something I wouldn't mind doing myself. I wouldn't mind having a crack at to see would I be able to manage it. There is people out there that are kind of saying that if you're musically backgrounded and you can understand different pitches and different tones through music, it makes it a little bit easier. Now, I'm not kind of in that kind of bracket either, so I don't know what way it'll work. I think sending something mightn't be too hard, but receiving it and reading it might be my issue. I'm not sure, but it's something that I'd have to dig into, you know. I have done a little bit of practicing on an app on the mobile phone here for a while, and I didn't seem to be too bad of spelling a couple of words. But when something comes back, the problem was I couldn't read it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Well, my son, he's now 20, but when he was, I think 10 or 11, something like that, he was able to learn it in 3 days. Over.
That's unbelievable, John. Unbelievable. I've been tricking around with it now for quite a while, and I don't know if I want to go down that road, to be honest with you. But listen, it's something I might do at a later stage. I don't know. But yeah, it'd be nice to get the 2-letter call sign. It certainly would. I do have an M5 call sign in the UK as well, and I spent 20 odd years in the UK. So, and when I came home here back in the mid 90s, there, I decided then to put the station back together, and I was on the Charlie Bravo for a good while, and then I stepped across to this one after what was it? I went for the exam back in 2022. And to be honest with you, I was kind of sorry years afterwards, you know. When I did set back up this station back in the 90s, I was at home, like, after coming from the UK. I was kind of sorry that I didn't go for the exam back in the early 90s, you know, that kind of a way. But sure, listen, I have it now anyway, so I'm not really fussed, and I still hold the M5 call sign as well. So happy days. We'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I kept my my Echo India. a good pal of mine said, just always keep everything valid. So for my sins, I am Echo India 4 Golf Oscar, over.
Yeah, EI2JIB, yeah, that's familiar to me. That's familiar. That call sign. But listen, Ed, I was the same with the M5. I kept it as well. I mean, there's not too many M5s left out there now. They're getting very, very scarce at the moment, and it's another part of the era that's going to die off, and the M5s in time to come. But listen, it is what it is. So we'll keep ploughing on, John. We'll keep ploughing on. Right, John, I'm going to pull the plug here. What time is it? 1 o'clock. The YL went to Newbridge this morning. I dropped her in after talking to the lads on the Jota this morning, and she went to get her hair done. So I'm going to pull the plug, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, very good. Well, great hearing you, Peter. And just one final thing, and for my sins, although I let it lap because I knew I wouldn't be returning, but I was G0LUV for my sins, over.
Yeah, good stuff, yeah. Yeah, but sure, listen, I do know I'm back and forward to the UK all the time, John. I've still got a load of family, brothers and sisters of mine living in Manchester, and I do go back on a regular basis. I have a lot of friends over there as well, you know, through the years and everything else there using the M5 call sign. So, listen, it's just nice. It's nice there to be able to get back and forward and, you know, not change the call sign. And now and again I do get onto some of the platforms there, and I do call into the RSGB news as well there with the M5 call sign as well there, just to keep it right, you know yourself. Right, John, I'm going to pull the plug. As I want to go back into Newbridge to pick up the YL. The two of us are heading out tonight. Our local GAA club here, Kill Village, are in the county final today. So that game kicked off at 3 o'clock, and we're all heading for the local watering hole, which is only about 50 feet away from me. The football grounds here and the clubhouse and all. So we're all heading there this evening there to celebrate. Whether the win or lose, we're going to celebrate anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger, sounds like a great night out. Okay, Peter, keep in touch anyway. But I have to say you're a cracking signal and very, very strong audio in Belgium. Till the next time, and always nice hearing you. EI2JIB, ON80I. Bye-bye from Belgium, Peter, over.
Yeah, ON80I, EI2JIB. 100%, John. Have a nice afternoon. Regards to yourself and the family. And I'm sure we'll catch you further on. 10, 15, 20, nearly peaking 20 dB over 9 on the last over. 73, John. Have a nice afternoon. Slán agus banach from Ireland. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye, Peter.
2 Mike 1.
Yeah, go ahead, 2 Mike 1.
Yeah, QSL, John. 2 Mike 1, Alpha Delta Mike, Roger.
Okay, Alpha Delta Mike. And the name, over?
Yeah, QSL, sorry, the name here, Adam, Alpha Delta, Alpha Mike. I'm located central Scotland, John, 20 miles to the west of Edinburgh, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, well, you're cracking signal into the village of Ham, which is about 40 kilometres northeast of Antwerp. So 2 Mike 1, Alpha Delta Mike, Oscar November 8, Echo India, Adam, over.
Yeah, QSL, John, you're booming through here. I just wanted to drop by and say hello. I could barely hear the other station, unfortunately, but you're banging through. You're 5 and 9 plus 20. Really strong signal, armchair copy, and really clear audio. The transceiver here is FT2000, John, and I'm running a 3-element Yagi. The Yagi is about 15 metres above the ground floor and pointed exactly your direction, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I'm on a 30-year-old quad. I believe it looks 30-year-old anyway, and it's an offset gem quad. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. And I just have one element. Well, when I say one element, I've got one band connected. Power at the moment, probably about 500 watts. And the radio is a Hermes Light, over.
Yeah, QSL, I had a wee look on your QRZ page and I've picked up the information that you've put out there. I was actually listening to you for 5 or 10 minutes there, and when you changed antennas, when you were speaking with the other station back in the homeland, your signal just stayed the same. You never really changed at all here, and your audio was just the same. Sometimes if you swap over an antenna, the audio can drop off a little bit or the signal can move, but you were exactly the same, 20 over 9 both times, Roger.
Yeah, Roger on that, Adam. Yeah, well, the other antenna, which is an OptiBeam, I use that as the main antenna, and the one that I'm using now, I use it mainly as a receiving. So sometimes I'm listening to a conversation, and I beam one way for receiving and another way for receiving as well. And I managed to get both sides of the conversation. Over.
Yeah, QSL. I'm familiar with the OptiBeam. I don't know the quad antenna, but I'm familiar with the OptiBeam. A friend of mine has an OptiBeam as well. I know there's various numbers and things on them. I think from memory it was something like an OptiBeam OB6 or something like that. I might be wrong, but I'm not too familiar with most of the other antennas, John. I'm quite new to radio. I've been on air maybe a couple of years now, and still just kind of cutting my teeth in different things. So the antenna I'm using, if it's of interest, it's a 1970s antenna. It's called a Western DX33. It's a tri-band antenna for 10, 15 and 20, and it was made back in 1976. I think they were subsidised by the US government as well for export. It was made in the UK around Birmingham area, the wee bits of research that I've done on it. So it seems to work very well. I'm quite happy with it. I used to work verticals, and I've got a long wire up as well, but the beam seems to be my go-to, and I find myself stuck here on 20 metres quite a lot anyway, John, so it's quite sweet on 20 metres, Roger.
Yeah, that's amazing. You came up to 25 over with me on your 3-element beam, and well done on working on a vintage beam, and of course, as I said, the GEM quad, it could be 30 years old. It was in the, those, buy and sell type websites, and it sat for 3 months. So I sent him a message, and he was slow to come back, and eventually we talked about it, and he said €100 for everything, and that included other bits and pieces that he gave me. So I said, I'll come out and see you on Sunday morning at 8. So I live about 2 hours from him, and at Sunday morning at 8 I was there on the door, and we had a long chat. So I brought it home. The spreaders are quite long, and they're special sort of spreaders. They're kind of like lattice. So I don't think I have a photo of the spreaders, but if you get a moment in the future, have a look at the GEM quad and look at the spreaders, and there are something else. Over.
Yeah, QSL, I will do. I've took a wee note of that. I'll have a wee look at it. I quite like research and stuff like that, and you get some various different guys using different stuff. The popular one seems to be the hex beam. Everybody seems to be going for a hex beam, and they look all right. They're quite big, I would say, for the home QTH. I'm in a residential area here, so I have to be a wee bit careful with what goes up. I think the longest element on this antenna is about 7.1 metres, so it is quite long, and it's quite bulky, but I don't know if I'm trying to convince myself or convince the neighbours around me. It's in place now. It's been there for quite a long time, I would say, probably around a year now, and it looks okay. It seems to blend in all right, and the residential area we're in, it's quite fine. The neighbours are all very friendly and stuff, so there's no complaints or anything like that with it, which is quite a good thing. Anyway, okay, John, I'll not hold you any longer. Nice to talk to you. I just wanted to say hello. As I say, the band's it's not in great shape at this side, so you're a booming signal, and when I was going through the band, I stopped on your signal and just had a wee listen for 2 or 3 minutes, and I thought I'll come in and give you a call and give you a signal report into Central Scotland. So have a good weekend, John. Good rest of the weekend, what's left of it anyway, and maybe we'll catch up again another time. EI2JIB.
Yeah, okay, Adam, lovely speaking with you. I think it is for the first time anyway, and good to hear you. Have a nice day. I was meant to go out and cut wood, but it's not an urgent job. I got stuck in the shack. I'm sure you've started out with plans, and then you get involved in something else. But nothing that I'm doing is of great urgency. Till the next time, Adam, if you hear me, give me a call. 2M1ADM, ONATI. Bye-bye.
Yeah, QSL, John, no problem. And yeah, I know the feeling. You get your bum sat in the shack here, and it's hard to tear your sail away. I've probably changed a wee bit. Quite a lot of wood there cut as well to get us through the winter time. If it's wood for the log fire that you're cutting. And I live in a small village here in central Scotland, and they've put gas in the village just in the last 2 or 3 months. So I've got I've got a heating system I need to try and put in, and that will save me another job cutting logs. At least I'll not need to cut so many. I'll just keep a wee pile next to the fire. But all right, John, good to hear you. It is the first time I keep an electronic log, and it's the first time in the log. So nice to hear you. It's been a pleasure, and we'll catch up with you again another time. ON8EI2M1ADM 73s. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye, Adam. 73s.
John, what's your email address there? I'm after finding the manual for that particular antenna. Go ahead.
Which antenna? Over.
The GEM quad.
Oh yeah, but I have it. Over.
Do you have the manual as well? Have you?
Oh, I have all the things. Yeah, well, it's a weird looking antenna. Over.
Yeah, just been looking at it here now. Just been looking at it. And some fella down in Spain has a manual on the internet here. I was going to send it to you if you haven't got it, but if you have it, that's fine.
Yeah, not only do I have it, I have it printed out in a book. Over.
Good man. That's the way to do it. 100%, John. Right, come on. I by the way, that Scottish station was hitting me at a 5 and 5, 5 and 7 there. I could hear him when it hung the antenna there. Right, John, go on. I'm going to pull the plug. It's come in to turn off the stuff in the shack here, and I was just listening for a second. And I'm going to pick up the YL. 73.
Yeah, take care. All the best to you, Peter, and always great hearing you. And thanks for that offer. And my email is in the in QRZ. Just take away the star at the start. Over.
Roger. Will do. 100%. EI2JIB. We're going back on standby. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. ON8EI.
Echo India 2, Japan Echo Boston, John.
Yes, Mr. Good evening to you. I should know it, but are you on the new amp? Are you?
I am indeed, John. Yeah, on the new amp, and yeah, lovely signal back this way, John. You're 20-25 dB over, and I'm pointing away from you there. Over.
Yeah, Roger, on that, Martin, very good. Well, nice to hear you. Very, very clear audio. Over.
Thank you very much, John. We do our best and try to keep everything, where it's supposed to be and not exceed ALC levels and things like that. And for a surprise, I'm coming to you at a 3K profile today. There. Over.
Well, I tell you, it sounds like 5. Over.
That's what we want to hear. You're saying all the right things, John. Just for identity, ON8EI from EI2JEB. Yeah, just having a bit of a listen around the bands. Not really wanting to do any talking at the moment. But I heard you on there. You were a big signal, so I said we'd have to drop in to say hello to John over there in Belgium. ON8EI, EI2JEB.
Yeah, very, very clear audio, I have to say, Martin. And Peter was also very good, and Adam as well. But how is the new antenna, Martin? Over.
Oh, the new antenna is doing the business, John. Absolutely fantastic. About 40, I think it's 47 new countries in the log. Without even trying. I haven't sat down, I think, any day particularly looking for new countries, but they just keep piling in without even trying. So I suppose that says it all, John. Over.
Yeah, Roger, terrific. Well, it looks great, and the ACOM 1000 that went quickly. Over.
It did. Well, you see, anyone that wouldn't be, that'd be thinking properly and in the line to buy an amplifier, particularly the ACOM 1000, probably could see that it was a good price. Now, I didn't lose a lot of money on it. I got exactly what I expected and what I thought it was worth, so I was happy. And we didn't have to put much with it to put in the 1.3K there. Over.
Yeah, well, good luck with the 1.3. And did you get it direct from them, or well, you don't have to tell me where you got it, but yeah, it is much handier. I'm on the as you know, the ACOM 1200. It is terrific the way they follow around, and thanks to Tim, he sent me a lead that made it all happen, and then he helped me to make it totally happen. So now the amp follows the radio. It is very handy, and you don't have to be tuning up and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You can just hop around the bands. Over.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Now, I didn't opt for the version with the automatic tuner built into it, because after doing all the research and things that you should be doing before you make a major purchase, I found that any little glitches that were reported from this amplifier was down to the internal tuner. So I have an AT2K here, perfect tuner, which I don't need on the quad. The quad is plugged straight into the back of the amplifier. It's only for the long wire for 80 meters really I need it. So, it was €1,000 to get the ATU, and the option was there to buy it without. So that's the road I went down, John. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, you did a great job, and well done to you for your research. Well, I'm sure another reason the amp went so quick, they knew that it was coming from a good home. Over.
Well, I'd like to think that, although, to really know a person, you kind of have to know them in kind of the physical form. But yeah, I do look after my equipment. It never got any abuse here, and it was only a year and a half old, so couldn't be bad. Basically, what I told the guy, I said, look, you're buying it less the price of a new tube. So you're getting a good deal, and if I was you, I'd save up a few quid and I'd buy a new tube and have it just sitting on the bench, because he was saying that this is going to be his forever amplifier. So I said, be careful what you say. I said much the same thing when I got the ACOM 1000, but just for my operating, John, I might have a half an hour here, a half an hour there in the day, and just waiting on the amp to warm up, and then having to sit and let it cool down before you switch it off. Just wasn't suiting. So done the research, like I said, and the best option for me was the Expert 1.3, and only arrived Wednesday evening. I was away up in Navan on work when I got the message that it was being delivered 2 days early, let me add, and that was a long afternoon waiting to get home, John. Over.
Yeah, Roger, and well, as I said, you don't have to tell me where you got it, but I was looking a while ago on Wemo, and there was a long waiting list. Over.
No, I didn't go to Wemo. I went straight to the factory in Italy. There. Over.
Yeah, Roger. So were you long in the waiting list? Over.
If I had to put in the order like what they suggest, you just put in your order. They give you a rough estimate. It would have been around the end of October, 1st of November. So I came back to him straight away. I said, look, I want to pay you now, so please send the pre-forma. And I paid the pre-forma on the Tuesday. I got an email on the Wednesday saying that the money had been received. And on the Thursday, I got a confirmation that the amplifier had been shipped with a tracking number. So exactly a week from the date that I got the email there, John. Over.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that Dave is having great results with his. Over.
Yeah, well, Dave, the performance of Dave's kind of was the final thing that pushed me that way. He getting great results with it, signal nice and clean, and no great issues. So the only thing I'm going to miss now when the winter really do hit us, John, is the lack of heat. It's far cooler running than the ACOM And what I do like about it is the fans are super quiet. Now I am only running low power, so that's our limit here. 418 watts is what my meter is telling me. So and I'm putting about 8 to 9 watts in for that. And put your hand on the back of the amplifier where the fans are exhausting, and it's only it wouldn't warm anything, so I'm going to miss it for the bit of heat, John. ON8EI, EI2JEB.
Yeah, Roger on that, Martin. EI2JEB, ON8EI, all copied on that. Yeah, well, you've come down a long road with the various bits and pieces. But are you on the 5,000 now, over?
I am indeed. The 5,000 is here, and just loving it. I do have the Calibri Nano. So basically, I have a Sun receiver here that I can look at on the screen, but I don't switch it on. Only maybe if I am going to look for a bit of DX and just spot things on the band. I'm sitting in front of the radio, the tuner and the amplifier is directly above it, and that's more than enough eye candy in the shack there, over.
Yeah, Roger, well, all those pictures I've seen over the past, your shack looks always very neat and tidy and attractive. And there's a guy down in Kuwait, and he has the TS990, but his favorite, he also has the FT5000. And that is his go-to radio, over?
Yeah, well, when you see the second-hand market, it just kind of hammers home how much they're thought about. If you do see one coming up for sale, it won't be cheap. So I was dead lucky to get this one, and it's not a million miles away from me, just down in Limerick. And it wasn't even Limerick, it was up in Carlow getting serviced and getting new OLEDs fitted. So it was a very, it was like the old saying, what's for you won't pass you. And I think it was just my time to get involved with the 5,000. So delighted with it, absolutely. But well, look at less about me and a bit more about you. How are you getting on with the GEM quad? I wonder. Is it up in the air? Is that what you're using now, or are you still on the OptiBeam? Well, I presume you won't be taking down the OptiBeam. You'll have two big antennas up in the air. So whatever you're putting out anyway, I don't know. You can tell me what sort of power you're running. You're 25 dB over, and like I said, that's off the back of the quad here. I'm looking into America because I was on 10 meters just before I came down to 20. Worked a couple of American stations, and I'm going to go back there, so I'm not even going to bother turning it around when the signals are this good, John, over.
Yeah, Roger, totally understood. And I sent you the call sign of the guy with the FT5000, and he is a big voice on the radio. Yeah, I'm on the GEM quad, and I'm on one. It just has one band at the moment. So, but it is for 30 years of age. It's working well, and they are amazing. The size of the boom, and as mentioned in a previous conversation, for €100, including all the bits, it wasn't a bad buy. Over.
Yeah, absolutely. Stole it from the man. You stole it from him there. Yeah, I know. I have great fondness for the GEM. Our good friend EI7 Bad Apples was the first GEM quad that I seen, even though his was of the homebrew variety. But fantastic antenna, and okay. The lightning bolt and the big signals, there is a little bit of compromise with them because of spacing between the bands. Each band is spaced the same. It's okay. Gives very high gain on 10 and 12, and even down to 15, and diminishes a little bit then on 17 and 20 because maybe you could do with a bit more wider spacing, but. Look, it's up there. And yeah, fine on the 30 years of age. Well, my old quad is at least 30 years old now, living down in Tramore in County Waterford with John, 2HW. And yeah, well, that's why I went back to the quad. You know, that's over 30 years old. It has never really been out of service since I sold it, so it's standing the test of time well, John, over.
Yeah, and he is a terrific signal on your X quad. And out of curiosity, I remember he had a FT5000. Did he jump ship and get something else, over?
He did. His 5,000, if I had have only known his 5,000 was for sale, I wouldn't have passed it up. I'd have certainly bought it off him. John would be another careful user, and we have swapped and sold and traded and done all sorts of funny deals over the years. Back when I was the other call sign, I used to meet John very regularly on his rounds in his work. We'd often stop places for a coffee, so you know we had a very good friendship going off air as well as on air. So that's how we ended up with the quad. But yeah, he's gone from the 5,000 and he's now using an ICOM 7,700, I think it is. It's either the 7,700 or the 800. I'm not sure, but I think it's the 7,700. And of course, look at John being John with the pipes he has. He'd sound good on a piece of string with two bean tins, over.
Yeah, it's lovely to have a voice like that. I'm blessed from an early age with the trebly voice, over.
Yeah, well, whatever you're doing with your trebly voice is coming across very nice on the air there today into the Bose speakers sitting at either side of the radio, and just sitting in between them. And when you're speaking, I just sit back and have a good listen, and yeah, it's sounding very nice. So well done, that man. And I presume it's the baby you're on. It's the baby, I would presume, and not the bigger box, over.
Yeah, I'm on the baby, and actually on the way, maybe soon, is an amp for the bigger radio, over.
All right. What are you going to connect up to the big one, John?
Yeah, Roger Martin, the VK3 amp, the 1K version, over.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Yeah, well, you'll have a very nice setup then with the baby on the 1200 and the bigger box then going into the VK. That's another thing I actually love about this amplifier is the capability of having two radios connected and set up at the one time, and it's your 4 antenna outputs then. So you know, it opens up a lot of possibilities. What I'll put in as a second radio, I don't know. It certainly won't be this year now, anyway. Yeah, the little hobby fund now after putting the extra to the sale of the ACOM for this and a couple of other little bits and pieces has well and truly robbed the bank for this year. So I'll be keeping me eye out and my options open, and maybe next year we'll put something in here so that we will have two radios. I know they'll be sharing the amp, but at least there's no cables to be unplugged, and it's just a matter of either hitting one PTT or the other. It's that quick. I've tested it. I'm actually using the second output for the Nano, and so if I'm looking at you on the screen, listening to you through the little Colibri, the minute I hit the PTT at my foot, it switches back to input 1 onto the radio. So it's as automatic now as you could get, John, over.
Yeah, no, it's a great system. But you have to say, Martin, it is nice to come in, sit back, and you call a pile-up of some sort, and you're heard, over.
Well, that is true. Now, I have to say, for the last couple of weeks, while I was without an amplifier, the 200 watts out of the FTDX was, was good. You might maybe have to be a little bit more persistent, but if you were pointing at the station and you give them the 200 watts and just increase the mic gain a small little bit, you'd usually get through. But of course, it's so nice now. The radio is limited to 20 watts. That's as much power as it can put out, no matter where I turn the dial, which is a nice feature. And the amplifier is connected via the ALC and the band data. So, the radio takes what it wants, or the amplifier takes what it wants, and it just backs off the rest. But when I go up, if we do get the kilowatt, I'd be operating in mid-power. That gives you around 800 to 900 watts. I'd be increasing the drive of the radio a little bit more for that, but I think about 40 watts is all you need there even to run high power, which will give you anything from the 1.3 up to about 1.5, which it does. I've done it into the dummy load. It does hit the 1.5 there with no problems whatsoever, so I don't think we'll be using that one, but definitely would be nice to use the mid power and get up to that 700, 800, 900 watts. That'd be excellent. But how quick our friends up in higher offices are going to do that for us, it's just unknown. Right, John, it's lunchtime here. I'm minding the little lad today, and he's the boy with the diabetes, so it's lunchtime for him, and we have to kind of keep a fairly tight regime on it. So I'll pass it back to you for a final. It was great to catch on 20 there today, and look forward to our next time, maybe down on 40 or 80. ON80i, EI2JEB.
Yeah, Roger Martin, excellent copy there, really. Yeah, you're coming up 20 over. Terrific signal and very clear audio. And I'm making a little video. I've started recording a while ago, and I'll post it up, and I'll send you the link, and you can hear what you sound like here. But just one thing, just before you go, I've been in touch with a guy in Brazil, and he's on a homebrew for 10 meters, and the boom is 10 meters long, and it's a 8 element on 10 meters long. So he's a terrific signal on his 100 watts. Over.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I did back in the early days have it wasn't that long, but I had a 5 element on 10 meters, and at the peak of that sun cycle, it was just a pure animal. Yeah, and I don't think I even had 100 watts back then, so the more elements you can get up with the longer boom you can get up, the better. Now, Big Signal are in the process of designing a 3-element cubicle quad. I will have interest if it's something that I can buy the extra element and maybe the longer boom from them, if it'll work with the existing 2-element. But if it's an outright purchase, certainly won't. I might maybe have a look at designing it myself and see how we go on from there. But I'd imagine that it will be pretty similar for the reflector and the driven element. There won't be that much of a change, maybe a slight retune, but I'm keeping my eye on that anyway. Would like to add the 3rd element at some stage. We're never happy. We have to try and keep getting better and better the whole time. Right, John, that's it. I do have to get out here, but like I said, fantastic getting you there today. And we'll look forward to our next one. And I look forward to getting the link for the video. ON80i, EI2JIB. Bye-bye, John.
Yeah, bye-bye, Martin. Enjoy your day and look after the little harmonic. Well done. EI2JB, ON80i. Till the next time. And once I make that video up, I'll put it up on YouTube. I'll send you the link. Till the next time, EI2JB, ON80i. Bye-bye from Belgium, Martin.
Yeah, 73s from Ireland, John. Bye-bye.